Hello guys and gals, me Mudahar, and today I wanted to talk about the whole YouTube age gate situation. Now in the past couple days, a lot of information's come out, a lot of rumors really, that YouTube is implementing this age restriction guideline into their system, where it prevents children from actually viewing content that they're not old enough to view. Now a lot of people have speculated that some of this is why we're getting this YouTube unsub glitch that's basically been happening. I've actually had a couple people reach out to me, and I've never really had a massive issue about the whole YouTube sub glitch issue. In fact, I've never seen myself personally unsub from a channel, but a lot of people are bringing into attention that if your channel was created before somebody turned 18, or if you are underage, then you're going to be removed from certain channels that are a little bit more mature, say. Things such as, I guess if you wanted to put into like Filthy Frank, or channels that are a little more on the edgier side of the YouTube content. And I wanted to weigh in on that and kind of give you all my assessment of the whole situation. You know, I usually give things a fair bit of time to simmer so I can get as much information as I can out of it, both from official sources and from the entire community as a whole. And I gotta say, out of a lot of people that are making this out to be a massive deal, I have to say that I'm kind of in support for the whole YouTube age gate situation, and let me explain to you why. Remember when I made a video a long time ago where people wanted me to remove videos because unfortunately their kids were coming across a lot of my content which was filled with many swear words. In fact, some of the gaming videos that I played actually had some mature elements in it too, which, you know, when you're playing an EXE game, for example, or something where you do have child content into it, right? Like something, say, for example, Sonic, and it turns out to have some, you know, satanic, religious offensive, wow, that wasn't even a word, you know, anti-religious, sort of anti, you know, I guess content that isn't really pertained towards children, right? And it shouldn't be pertained towards them until they have some form of intelligence. Parents are going to get mad. You know, it's like catching your kids on a porn website or something like that. I mean, parents nowadays, unfortunately, do give their kids an iPad or something like that, or just plop them in front of YouTube. Basically, at this point, it's like our video games, or it's TV for us, right? Kids are just put in front of it, and they're exposed to a world of things that are both good and, you know, are both not for their age, and some things that are just plain bad. And parents don't really have a control over it. They're either too busy doing whatever they're doing, going to work. There's many reasons why this occurs. Now, I don't ever take it personally when somebody asks me to remove a video. I do, don't get me wrong, I do when people think that stuff can be censored when unfortunately they have no right to. But I don't get offended when it's a parent. I kind of understand, you know, from a parent's perspective, they can't always be there even though they really fucking should, and you shouldn't just give your kids a multi-$100 tablet and expect them to fucking raise themselves. But then again, this isn't what the video is fucking about. The video is about the YouTube age gate situation. Now, for those of you who don't know, if you're on the mobile application specifically, I don't know how to do it exactly on the desktop side. If you go to your settings on YouTube, there is a restricted mode. Now, I've seen this on my TV, the TV smart features. I've seen this on my phone. I've seen this on my tablet. You can basically enable something called restricted mode, which actually prevents you from searching or looking at channels that might be a little more risque. Now, I looked at my channel, it's not really there, but some of my videos kind of are, and this is really the odd point of contention, where some of my deep web videos are actually rather accessible. Now, I don't think any of my deep web videos should really be accessible for people under the age of 18. Some of them, most of them, really do have risque content, even the ones that, you know, are pretty harmless, where we're looking at, you know, gun sites or something. That's still content that I don't think kids should really be seeing, right? Just because, you know, they're not of the age, is what I'd say. And I totally support YouTube on that. You know, if you want to look at mature content, you just have to turn that off. And boom, you have access to the entire YouTube algorithm at your fingertips. Now, the whole ideology of them silently unsubbing channels is kind of fucking weird. You shouldn't really be doing that, YouTube. That's a no-no. For some people, YouTube is their livelihood, and when you start fucking with that livelihood, you know, it kind of gets in the way. And I know everyone's like, YouTube, you know, it's not a secure job. No job in today's market is absolutely fucking secure. Let me tell you right now, I've seen people get laid off from jobs that were once considered secure as hell. So YouTube is about as viable as a career path as, say, anything really else. And if you play your cards right on YouTube, you can actually parlay this thing into many, many interesting things later on in life. But of course, that's a whole different video right there. For me personally, the whole silent unsubbing of channels should better be explained by YouTube. Now, this is where I agree with restricted mode. See, when I was a kid and we wanted to go on risque websites, it often asked us if we were over the age of 18 and if we weren't. You know how many fucking times I said I wasn't over the age? I was over the age of 18 all the fucking times. I think every time a risque website, a porn site or whatever, when we were younger, and we were like 14 years old, and it was like, you got to be 18 to access this site. I think all of us unanimously clicked yes. We might have had that one fucking kid. We might have had that one ace, that Jordan, who just said, no, I'm very underage. I can't see nudie titties. But I think all of us unanimously clicked yes. And I think kids of today's day and age have not gotten fucking stupider. Maybe in some aspects, okay? All right? You just have to look at social media long enough to realize how far we've dropped. But I think kids today, if they want to access risque videos, if they want to watch their PewDiePie videos, or if they want to watch if they want to watch, their prank channels, all it takes is for them to turn off restricted mode. Ladies and gentlemen of YouTube, I think in that aspect, content creators, I think we're kind of safe. Because you know what it does? It takes the blame off of us. And it takes the blame off of YouTube entirely. If you come up with a message, a disclaimer that says, you shouldn't be watching porn, you shouldn't be watching mature stuff, and you have to turn it off yourself, that's on you, motherfucker. That's not on anybody else. That's on you. Giving the yes or no option is now solely on the person that is watching the content. And at this point, nobody can really fucking blame you. You can post what you want as long as it's within community guidelines. If I make a fucking sex tape and if I jerk off on camera and release it, yeah, I'm gonna get a fucking bad rating for that, sure. I'm probably gonna get my channel striked, maybe even terminated, who fucking knows, right? But the thing is like, as long as you keep sticking to the guidelines, make the videos you do now, nobody can fucking put the blame on you. And I think that is the silver lining in the entire situation. And that's one thing that I don't think a lot of people are really focusing in on. Now, the weird thing about it is, of course, we go back to YouTube's algorithm for deciding what's a mature video and what's not a mature video. Look, I think we know that YouTube is kind of distant with a lot of its content creators, and only until recently I would say that they've kind of taken the effort to understand the content creators to a certain extent. With the whole advertiser-friendly notifications, things like that, where you actually tell your content creators in more detail about what's really going on with their channel, rather than having, a yes or a no, and not really explaining either one very well. But to have a system where you can choose to enable restrictions or not enable restrictions for your search, I think is very helpful. Now, as far as I know, you have to enable the restricted mode. As far as I've been able to tell, because for me, restricted mode is always off. But I think if you have a channel under, 18, restricted mode is put on until you turn it off. I think most kids that make YouTube accounts don't even put their real age. They probably set their fucking age to like 1929, and every fucking World War II vet or some shit like that is watching their favorite prank channel, or Elsa and Spider-Man, giving birth to Joker or some shit like that. So I don't think in that regard it's a bad situation for YouTube to enable. It's almost like YouTube Kids to an extent. There's a lot of content creators that are on that platform specifically, right, where they make content geared solely towards children. Really weird content, but then again, it's not for our demographic. I think it's a fair compromise for YouTube to implement the system, because I think what a lot of people forget is YouTube is not a dumb platform. I don't think anybody can say the minds behind YouTube or Google are necessarily stupid. I think people need to understand that with a site like this that's so big, that is open to so many attacks by companies like Viacom for copyright, that's attacked by multiple groups about content that's put onto it daily, needs to implement a system where a lot of the liability is pushed off of them. And I think in order for the platform to survive, that's what they have to do. But the situation over here, I think a lot of people blow out of proportion, because a lot of people worry about subs so much. In reality, a subscriber count doesn't fucking matter. It doesn't matter in the sense, because subscribers really are just there for your e-penis rights. What really matters is, of course, how many views you get on average, right? Or how many views you get on a monthly basis, things like that. I think people kind of lose their shit about that. It's a lot of their bragging rights that are slowly being taken away, if the situation plays out the way it does. And, a lot of people are saying channels are being killed off. Yes, that's all channel dependent, I guess you could say, right? I mean, if some channels are out there, basically making videos on cyberbullying people over the internet, that stuff kind of gets old after a while. You have to admit that, right? I think most people are too, again, scared to admit that aspect of their channels as well. But as far as the restricted mode goes, as far as the YouTube age-gate situation goes, I'm actually in support of it, because I feel like, at least from my end, the content I make, a lot of the liability now is shifted off me. Before, it used to be only YouTube that got the benefit of liability being shifted off, and everyone else was fucked. But I think now, because of restricted mode, we kind of have the ability to say, look, parents, look, groups, if you don't want, people from your end watching our stuff, there's a little option you can tick, and YouTube filters it out. If YouTube doesn't filter it out, their algorithm gets better, and it filters out things appropriately. Now, again, these things appear to be in beta, so I think YouTube needs to properly roll this out if they're going to go with it, and make sure the false positives, because there's going to be many, get ruled out as quick as they can. And I really hope to introduce a system where if your video does get restricted and it's really not, they have an appeal system. Just like we have for content strikes or content matches. I think this system should evolve and it should build up so that if you're going to upload, TVMA content, mature content, then you can do so in a matter where it's, people don't look at you or people don't, put the blame onto you, for whatever their kids might be watching. Because at the end of the day, YouTube is becoming the new television. That's a guaranteed fact. TV is dying. I think everything is shifted towards online or is shifting to it at this point. And you can sort of see that with the way ads are shifting around, viewerships are shifting around, the way programs are produced. And if YouTube's going to survive, or if any other platform is going to survive, they need to adapt in a way where they can keep those TV-like restrictions. Not all of them, because some of them are really stupid. But in a way where we can smooth the transition over and make a better media ecosystem for everyone else. Because the thing is, everyone really likes YouTube. It allows people to spread their voice, but at the same time, when the platform's as big, we have to understand that liability is a very important thing. And the whole YouTube age-gate, as much as some people want to throw about conspiracy theories, there is a silver lining for everyone here involved that's on the creator side of the spectrum. And remember, it's like those porn sites. You can say yes or fucking no if you want. Not saying that you should lie, of course. That's not what I'm mentioning at all. But, it's sort of that situation again. So take that information as you will. But I'm going to end this video on that note entirely. Let me know what you think about the whole YouTube age-gate situation. Let me know what a lot of other people that you watch are personally saying. I don't get the whole picture because I tend to block out some of the more severely cancerous sides of this website. But I know they have a lot to say. So if you like what you saw, please like, comment, and subscribe. Just like if you dislike it. This is me, Mudahar, and I am out.